My name is Anuj, SGDA Webmaster. Iman, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Aman. I am one of the developers on this game. It's a team of four, but unfortunately just me for today.
No worries. Let's get started, shall we? To begin with, I'll ask the question of where are you calling in from, and what school did you and your team get started from?
So I'm actually living in Seattle now, but we're from UC Berkeley, so we're all Berkeley students, the four of us. And so most of the development happened as we were students. I just recently graduated. Two of the other members also
Awesome.
graduated over the development of the game. One of them is still at Berkeley, though.
Congratulations to the team. I also just graduated myself, so I'm
nice.
Yeah. It's that's cool to hear. I think that we have I've seen some of the events that the Berkeley Game Dev Club puts on. They look really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'd like to ask, how did the idea for this game come about? Where did the inspiration come from? Because it's interesting to see the visual novel style combined with a almost, I want to say, Paper Mario battle system.
That's a good question. Honestly, all it was one of the person who basically got the project started. He just said, "Hey, do you want to make an RPG with me?" And the four of us were already friends, and we were like, "Sure." And then we just met up in a library room one day and just got a conversation started. And I think the sort of layout, like visual novel and battles and the world map, that didn't get started in the first meeting. That was mostly on what we wanted. We just brainstormed for the battle system.
Right.
But then in our second meeting or so, we just basically got this entire layout thought of.
One thing that I really liked while playing the game was the pixel art of the characters, especially considering that especially considering now that I can see the concept art in a way on the main screen. I thought it was really, really well done. They have a lot of character and personality to them, and that actually makes me ask, what was your role during development?
So I was the programmer on this. I also did all of the technical parts, so all of the 3D stuff. So I'm just to go over the roles. It's just me on that. Then one of the people is musician writer, so all music, all sound effects, all writing is him. And then the pixel art, and so all the 2D art is one specific person. And then the last person did some initial programming and was the team founder, but kind of died off over the development of
that's how teams are.
Yeah.
Was the person who did the 2D art also the person who did the backgrounds? Because those are really cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, just for Twitch chat, we're just letting you know that the vibrations are actually unintended. It's because it's actually a high refresh rate game. So if you have a high refresh rate monitor, it's really, really smooth. It just unfortunately doesn't translate well over Discord. Discord just compresses it too hard for it to be accurately represented. So definitely play their game. It's definitely well done.
It's super well done. I don't know if this build is going to be updated, but there is a secret boss that made the showcase team laugh out loud.
Yeah, that one will be in the final version.
Good. So keep an eye out for that. I would like to. So for my next question, I'd like to ask, how did development change over time? You mentioned that you added on the visual novel elements to the RPG, but what made you choose that specific style of combat, or that presentation of combat?
So there were a couple, the project itself started in January of 2020. So obviously, COVID started and that derailed some things. So the development of the timeline, the development of the project was that January to the August of 2020 was very, very strong, focused development, because the scope wasn't as big as it is now. And so we had a sort of a game done. It was very, very, very far from complete. But it was at the very least playable. But then after that, school started up and we sort of died out because we kind of were aiming for the project to be in a more finished state than it was at that point in time. And so basically since August 2020, it's just been a very, very on and off thing up until maybe last semester, or not the last semester, but the fall 2021 semester. that's when like development really kicked up again into like full motion. And so
Right.
one of the big changes in the timeline is that after that August 2020, the battle scene was like basically it was pure 2D, and I just sort of realized that like it wasn't that appealing the way we had like set it up, and because like the other teammates have, like I sort of took it up after that. I was the one doing it on and off up until like 2021.
Right.
And so I just said like, okay, well I have some assets. I'm just gonna make a 3D scene, and because I can't do 2D art, and I'm just gonna try to get this done on my own. And that's sort of why the like 2D 3D style came about. It's purely just because like I don't know how to do 2D art.
Honestly,
And the 2D artist was busy at that point in time.
it still ended up, I think. Oh, whoops! Accidentally. There we go. I still really like the art style. Is like I'm a big fan of. I like Octopath in theory, but I like that engine style of this dynamic 2D 3D. So it was like
Yeah, I really want to like make it as good as but I think I don't like just like scope wise, it's not right to go for it. But like ideally, if we're able to hit the what Square Enix calls like 2D HD art style, then like, well, I think this game would look so nice. But unfortunately, I think that would be a lot of a time sink that might not be the best for the project.
I think that that's there's a reason why that engine is being reused for like 2 different games right now.
Yeah, like 3 now. I had 4 actually, I think.
4? Oh my god, even more.
Yeah, there's the
you go.
Dragon
There we
Quest,
go.
there's Octopath, there's Project
Also,
Triangle, and there's Data Live.
fun
Yes,
business
yeah.
background.
Live it.
Yeah.
I have a
I,
kid.
What is it?
I thought it was.
Data Live's an anime.
Yeah,
Google
that
it.
one's different. That one doesn't have a game, I don't think. One thing that I really liked about the game was the fatigue system. I thought it was a really interesting. I thought it was an interesting way of doing like mana.
Yeah, so to talk about that a little bit, so that was one of the big switches in the timeline. Was basically like a year ago, like May 20, like basically throughout the last, what we had for our battle system like just was not working right. Like it made sense in theory, but like it just wasn't that fun to use. And it's a bit complicated what that system actually was, but I just realized that like we still had that sense of like moves affecting other moves, and I just went like all in on that and then made it into augments. So basically the battle system as is has only existed since like I'd say September of last year.
Right.
So it's like very recent. And so honestly, I can't believe that's as like well built as it is at this point, because it really was not like even existing like a year before.
That's really impressive. I hope that I didn't just thank God. I almost just redundantly attacked an enemy for the second time in combat. The augment system is like that was also like it was a cool way to implement that whole buffs, because normally when I play, like when I was a kid and I played turn-based games, I was like, buffs, why would I use buffs when I could just hit something harder? Turns out buffs make you hit things harder. But this is a really good way to kind of like encourage people to use it.
Yeah, this game's also very inspired. Like all of us are like JRPG players, and we're all, well, some of us are inspired by like Shin Megami Tensei, and like that's a game where like if you don't use buffs, then you just lose.
You will lose. Yeah, my
Yeah.
friend got me into SMT. Oh, this is the second character or third character technically.
Yep.
This guy has like the most smug picture on the cover.
Oh yeah. Kay's a character.
Okay, I'm very excited to see the future of Kay.
Yeah, when I showed this game off to people seem to like Kay a lot. My personal favorite's Piper though.
Piper, I like Piper. Piper has very good energy.
Yeah, I like
Really
the
like-
ditziness.
That's a very good way to put it. I think that with that, we'll probably finish up for now. And I'll ask the final question of, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or give a mention to?
Yeah, so actually we're aiming for a Steam release. The target date is sometime in September. I can go ahead and post that link in.
Yes,
Chat, I
post it
guess.
post it in Discord so that we can post it properly with the link
Oh, okay.
in Twitch chat, because if like
Yeah.
a non-admin tries to post it, it'll be like no, pew,
Okay, cool. Then I'll just send it over to you guys.
for sure.
But yeah, so we're aiming for a Steam release. So actually, we got a demo up for Next Fest. Well, this is basically the Next Fest demo that we put out. It's basically the same exact thing.
That's super cool.
So yeah, it was really I've never done anything with Steam, so it was really interesting to like try to put something on Steam and like realizing like what goes on in the back end, because you only see it as a consumer up until you actually do it. And then it's
exactly.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff I did not think about. Also want to shout out that there was like 4 members, but there's also a 5th person who did the like concept art that you're mentioning before on the title screen. So the characters you saw like prior to the game starting up, those sort of like big portraits are done by a separate artist.
Right.
And so yeah, just want to mention that.
Cool, awesome. With that, I think that we shall stop. We shall head off for now. I'm going to save because I'm going to come back to this. But thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Yaman.
Thanks for having me.
This was really fun. Take a look at Interwoven. Wishlist it on Steam. That goes farther than you think it does.
Definitely would appreciate it.
Coming up next is the writing and narrative design panel. Thanks again, Timo, and we'll see you then.
See you later.